to Jayhawk Jukebox. I'm Chloe.
My name's Quinn.
And congratulations, we have yet another new person on camera for the first time. I wish we had like a round of applause, like backtrack, you know what I'm talking about? Where they have them on the old like sitcoms.
Yeah,
so it's not
seriously.
just me cheering for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
There we go. We have more cheering. Yay.
Thanks for the love, y'all.
Of course. This week, you know, as we normally do, we're going to get into Song of the Week first. Do you want to talk about your song first?
Well, yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, go
The
ahead.
song that I chose for this week was by Lil Wayne. I've been listening to a lot of him recently. The song is called Can't Nobody, featuring DMX. And when I first clicked on the song, I was really hoping for an actual sample or an actual verse from DMX. But as I listened through it, it was just a bunch of samples from DMX that actually made the song so much better. He didn't have a verse on it, but I'm still loving it. The song was released back last Friday, and it was made in response to the Billboard's list about the top 50 artists of all time. And Lil Wayne placed the 7th on that list, and he felt very disrespected. And so he clapped back at Billboard with this song, and I was really loving it.
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like 7th is good though,
Yeah, I mean,
but apparently not good enough.
yeah, I mean, Lil Wayne is arguably one of the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time in my book, up there with Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Swizz Beatz produced the track for him, and he did a really good job. So
No, it was really good. I was listening to it as I was laying down, and I felt kind of bad for laying down because I don't know, songs like that make me feel like I need to like be running a mile or something. And so I didn't get up. I still was laying down. But I mean, it was a good song. I added it to my workout playlist.
Yeah.
So I'll be listening to that one.
yeah, Lil Wayne is great at producing songs
was
and
good.
rapping to be able to generate some hype and some
Yeah.
really upbeat energy. So
I like their
love
rhymes.
that. Yeah,
They're funny.
Yeah, he's a lyrical mastermind, that's for sure.
It was good for sure. I liked it. But I guess I'll start talking about my song.
Why not?
My song is a cover, and it is Back to Black, but this one is by Eddie Benjamin instead of Amy Winehouse. Oh my gosh, look at him. Great. Love the style, Eddie. You're doing a great job. But it's really different from the original, and I'm not even gonna lie, I first heard about him because of who he was dating.
Naturally.
Yeah, he's dating Maddie Ziegler. Do you know who that is?
I have no clue. Who is that?
Okay, so she was a dancer on Dance Moms.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
a reality show. It's really good, but it's a good song because it's like, I like the ones that are taken and then like flipped to a different perspective. So like
Yeah.
her song is about like her ex-boyfriend, whereas his song is about like an ex-girlfriend. Very different vibes and you know, a softer version of it. So I really like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, everyone should go give it a listen because it's a great song. But in the meantime, we're gonna roll over to Jukebox on the Street.
Slay. After the Beastie Boys broke up in 1987, each member went their separate ways. Ad Rock moved to Hollywood to pursue his acting career and to date Molly Ringwald. Mike D became a hermit and also the victim of multiple tabloid death rumors. And MCA, being MCA, focused all of his attention on his other band. You might be asking, what other band? Why have I never heard of it before? And I'm here to tell you, it's because you were never meant to. Let me introduce to you the greatest band that never was, Brooklyn. Formed in late 1987, Brooklyn was a band comprised of Adam Yauch from Beastie Boys, on guitar for some reason, Daryl Jennifer of Bad Brains on bass, Tom Cushman on guitar, and Murphy's Law drummer Doug E. Beans on, well, drums. These guys were all friends, and Yauch was itching to create music again, so they began jamming together. Taking the last $20,000 that Yauch had received from touring license to Ill, they began to record demos. You see, the thing is, Adam Yauch, not a singer. He was a great rapper, but hated singing because he thought that he was bad at it. But somehow he was roped into being the lead singer of this band. They recorded an album's worth of demos with introspective lyrics about life and relationships, including a not-so-obvious song about Yauch's on-again, off-again girlfriend, Aura Walker, as well as a demo for what would later be known as the Beastie Boys classic, Gratitude. Unfortunately, these demos never went anywhere because no label wanted to pick them up due to the stark difference in sound coming from Yauch, going from rap to what could essentially be known as early shoegaze. They performed one show, and there are very few photos to prove that the show even existed. But I'll show them. Here they are. Personally, I love the sound of Brooklyn. Yauch's voice, despite what he thought, was unique and raw. Honestly, I've cried to Gone Crazy like an embarrassing amount of times. And if you want to listen to their demos, I actually uploaded them on SoundCloud a few years ago, so they're out there on the internet to listen to. And if you want to read more about the band, I suggest an article from Fact Magazine that's really good. I think listening to them would really help keep Yelk's legacy alive.
What's Hawkin' Hawks? We are talking about Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, probably the best puppet horror show.
Well, I hope it's the only.
You hope it's the only. That
I hope so.
Bodes poorly for this conversation. But Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which we'll see a graphic of any minute of. We will... Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It started out its life as a YouTube series. The first episode premiered in 2011, over a decade ago. Were you? Did you see the initial virality of it when the first episode came out?
I didn't see it right as it was coming out. I want to say maybe like 5 years ago, something like that. I don't know. It wasn't right when it came out, but it was the first I ever heard of it. Yeah, as I was telling you earlier, my friends introduced me to it without telling me anything about it, so I had no idea what I was getting into.
That is very mean. I think I explained it well enough to you before when we were going to do this segment, right? I had enough introduction as to what it was. I said if you have a problem with puppet gore, you're gonna have an issue with this. But
yeah.
But I saw the initial wave of reaction videos to this. The first episode about creativity, which starts out wholesome enough and then ends in a gory nightmare.
Yeah.
But we're specifically talking about season 2, which just came out last year on ITTV in the UK. I hope that's right. This is a television series, meaning that every episode is 23 minutes as opposed to the initial 5-minute runtime of the first season.
Yeah, about.
And what did you think of the show compared to the classic, I guess?
Well, obviously they had a bigger budget, so it just looked better visually. They could afford to do more with it. I think something we should specifically talk about is the music they used, because I think that is very important for their themes. About, you said it earlier, I think you said educational, children's show kind of vibe, and then it just totally flips it.
Yeah, every show has some sort of instructor that's typically inanimate objects come to life and start telling them about technology, electricity, jobs, just various topics that you would see in a regular children's show, but there's typically some sort of dark twist that has something to do with that topic. I don't know what's going on. One thing I really love is there's a lot of imagery of eyeballs. Even just in the background, there's constantly things that have eyes that shouldn't. And to me personally, that felt the way that when you're growing up, you're watching, you're learning, and there's sort of you're learning about the topic, but you're also learning about societal expectations for you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with this first episode of the new series being about jobs, I just felt like the way that we're kind of molded by our education is something really present in every episode. But we're getting fists, which means we need to wrap up. So would you recommend Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
If that's the kind of thing you like to see, then I'd say go for it. It's definitely enjoyable. I wouldn't watch it if you don't like gore or anything, because there's a lot of that.
If you're like me and you love creative horror and you love stuff with texture like puppets, claymation, etc., then you would like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. He's scared.
We're back. He's back.
Oh, great. Fantastic. You just made my whole year.
I'm Kit. Alexandria.
Zach.
And we are asking this week,
what is one song that will be on your spring break playlist?
come on guys!
The Mockingbird and the Crow by Hardy.
It's called A Million Stars. Got it, cool, awesome.
Unstoppable by Sia. Is that how you say her name?
Probably Wanna Rock by Lil Uzi Vert.
Shake It Off by Taylor Swift.
I know most people are probably gonna say Taylor Swift, but I'm gonna say Taylor Swift, False God from Lover.
August by Taylor Swift.
That's a good one. Love that one. Heck yeah!
One More Love Song by Mac DeMarco.
Alright, so Don Tolliver just came up with a new album in Private Landing featuring Justin Bieber. Cool. It's pretty fire.
One song on your spring break playlist, if you had to choose one.
We like Solo by Clean Bandit and Demi Lovato. Sing it, Fifi.
Go for it.
You got it.
Rip a verse.
You're on camera.
No.
Anything to say?
Yeah, anything you want to say to the masses? Speak on it.
What game you playing?
PBS Kids.
Heck yeah.
There we go.
Some PBS
Thank you guys,
That's all
thank you.
I think what you should do is you should take the video of them in the car wearing the Lays, but put our faces over it, because there's 3 of them. There's 3 of us. Spring break 1986. Except it's spring break 2023. They're in Daytona Beach. I'll send you the clip. Don't even worry about it. Paul! Paul! Paul!
Viva La Vida by Coldplay.
Say so, probably. That's a great one.
Reptilia by The Strokes.
Hey, Zach. What's one song that's going to be on your spring break playlist?
Anything by the Growlers. I'd go with Tell It How It Is by the Growlers.
Heck yeah.
Beachy vibes.
Yes. What about you, Alexandria?
I don't know.
Never mind then.
You look like you sell diet pills.
Rude! I'm gonna go with Teddy by Teenage Dads.
Monsters by Ruel.
Probably Touchtone Telephone by Lemon Demon. My second Lemon Demon song on this show. You don't know who that is.
All of this is to say that we have an official Jukebox Spring Break playlist on Spotify. So we're gonna put up a QR code at some point in the show, and you can follow it. That was a rather. I'm sorry, there is something going on back there. I think that go well. What do you guys think?
It's great.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Kit.
I'm Quinn.
And I'm Jack.
And today we are doing heat check. It's the first of the month, and we are doing heat check. So first, before we start off, Hayden, our fearless leader, wanted me to let everyone know that The Chronic is streaming on Spotify. The Chronic by Dr. Dre, 1992 classic. It's on Spotify. You can listen to it. My forehead looked really shiny. But hey, Quinn, do you want to tell us about something that's coming out soon?
So Travis Scott fans, as y'all know, Utopia has been delayed time after time after time. But with Don Toliver dropping Lovesick recently, we are getting one step closer for Utopia to be coming out. Utopia was originally talked about by Travis Scott back in 2021 when he revealed that he had been working on it for some time. And now that Don Toliver has dropped, we are now only waiting for Chase B to drop his album, Escapism, Sheck West's album, Hell to Paradise, Sofago's next EP, which is currently untitled. And then once those are dropped, Travis Scott will be on the way.
Hi, Aya. Anyways, so March 3rd, actually today, Daisy Jones and the Six, Aurora came out today. That is an album that is like a soundtrack to the new Amazon Prime series, Daisy Jones and the Six, which is based off of a book. I haven't actually read the book, but I am probably gonna watch the series. I know a lot of people are gonna flame me for that, but I'm excited for the series because it's like a Fleetwood Mac kind of style. So yes. And then the next one we have is Willie Nelson. I Don't Know a Thing About Love. Apparently this is his 98th studio album.
It's like how many times I've been happy this month so far.
And I mean, I haven't heard much about it, but it's Willie Nelson, so it's gonna be good. If you love classic country music, then that is what you should be listening to. And then after that is also Shoo Shoo, Ignore Grief. I asked my brother, because he's a huge Shoo Shoo fan, what I should be expecting, and he said really gay and really sad. So there's that. If you like noise, experimental noise, then you will like this album. If you don't, you won't like it, and that's that. And then I talked about it last week, but De La Soul is dropping 3 Feet High and Rising. I actually have it right here. 3 Feet High and Rising. Oh, or you're going to show the graphic. That's cool too. But 3 Feet High and Rising will be on streaming platforms for the first time ever in 34 years, I think is the whatever. And then Teenage Dad's Midnight Driving EP. I'm super excited for this. I mentioned them on The Street, but they're an Australian band who has been described as The Strokes, but less depressing. And I think this is just going to be a really fun EP for the summertime, for the spring. They're just a fun group of dudes who make cool music.
Cool, yeah. After that, tonight at midnight, Mac Ayres is coming out with an untitled single, and it's really exciting. This is his first release since his last album in 2021, Magic 8 Ball. He's a R&B singer-songwriter he has a really interesting and cool voice, and I like him a lot. He's a really great guitar player. His songs have great guitar in them, and he has a tour coming up too, so hopefully this is just the first step to an album that he'll release before the tour in April.
Yes, and then on March 10th, we have 3 albums, which is Meet Me at the Altar, Past, Present, Future. They're an all-female pop punk band, which is like kind of, you know, that's bringing a resurgence. Pop punk is definitely back. I haven't really listened to them, but I really like the vibe of them. I think they seem cool. And then Miley Cyrus is dropping Endless Summer Vacation. It is a Miley Cyrus album, so it's probably going to be good, but I hope that not all the songs sound like flowers, because to me, personally, that song is a snooze fest. Yes. And then Twice, Our Youth, the K-pop girlies. I included this for them so they don't, you know, dox me or whatever. So if you like K-pop, then Twice is coming out. Then we have March 17th. There's a few albums that are coming out. 100 Gex is dropping 10,000 Gex. Yes, 10,000 Gex is coming out. Are you ready to get gecked?
Absolutely not.
You don't like 100 Gex?
I don't.
I love 100 Gex. They're like my guilty pleasure, so I'm really excited.
I like this next guy though.
Hosier.
Hard not to like him.
However you want to pronounce it. I said Fairy Daddy is back to make the most beautifully depressing music you have ever heard. And you'll probably enjoy all of it. You probably know at least one song by him, Take Me to Church. But I love Hosier. I feel like he's like, makes me feel whimsical.
He is a very whimsical guy.
Yes.
He does that.
And then U2 is dropping Songs of Surrender. Hopefully they don't force it on all of our phones again, because that would suck. I don't really know much else to say about that besides.
Parents love you too.
Exactly, everyone's parents love you too, so maybe they'll like that one. Speaking of albums your parents will probably enjoy, Depeche Mode is coming out with a new album. I haven't heard much from it, but I know they're on like tour right now, so obviously people are enjoying it, people are liking it, they want to hear it. So I'm excited for that, probably listen to it. Then we have Fall Out Boy, So Much for Stardust. I don't know much about it, but they performed at the NHL All-Star Game and with the mascots, so I know that like all the emo furries really like that. Yeah.
Oh
Then
my
we
God.
have Lana Del Rey's Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard?
There is?
There is. I think this is like her second album in like a year, which is crazy. But the single that I've heard, A&W, is like so Lana, like so quintessential Lana Del Rey, and I don't really know how else to describe it other than that. And then Whitney Houston, I Will Go to the Rock, the gospel music of Whitney Houston. She's releasing, well, I say she, her, you know, team, whatever, is releasing a bunch of her gospel music. I don't know if it's new music or if it's just like songs that she's released previously onto like a compilation, but if you love Whitney Houston, if you love soul music, I feel like this is going to be a great album for you because she's beautiful. Everything about her, beautiful. And then our last album that we have is Boy Genius, The Record. Julian Baker, Phoebe Bridgers, and Lucy Dacus come together to create supergroup Boy Genius, who make music for the gay and melancholy. So if you were one or either of those, you will probably love this album. I expect nothing but fire flames from this group. Fire flames. Wait. Oh, wait, play it. There it is. And that is your heat check for the month. We'll see you next month for another heat check. Peace out.
Welcome back to This Week in History, where we'll be recounting events in music history from the past week.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Alexandria.
On February 20th, 1957, Kurt Cobain was born. He was the founder and lead singer of the band Nirvana, popularizing the grunge music genre. They're best known for the album Nevermind, which includes songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, Lithium, In Bloom, and Something in the Way. Cobain is said to be one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century.
Bridge Over Troubled Water began a 6-week run at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 on February 28, 1970. The ballad was the title track of folk duo Simon & Garfunkel's 5th and final studio album. It went over to win 5 Grammys and would become one of the most performed songs in the 20th century.
On February 27, 1971, Pearl by Janis Joplin began a 9-week run at the top of the U.S. album chart. Pearl was Joplin's second album and final solo studio album, as she died from an overdose in October of 1970, 3 months before the album was released.
On February 26, 1983, Thriller by Michael Jackson topped the Billboard album chart. Jackson's 6th studio album was on its way to becoming the best-selling album of the year. It spent 37 non-consecutive weeks at number 1 and produced a record-breaking 7 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100.
On February 28, 1986, it was announced that Wham! Would split that summer. The duo, consisting of George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley, were one of the most successful pop acts of the 80s. Their farewell show was held at Wembley Stadium in London on June 28th with 72,000 fans in attendance.
On February 27, 1993, Whitney Houston's cover of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You became the longest number 1 hit to date, spending 14 weeks on the top of the Billboard Hot 100. It broke the record that was previously held by Boyz II Men's End of the Road.
On March 4th, 1993, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown welcomed their daughter, Bobby Christina Houston Brown. Bobby later became reality TV and media personality, singer, and actress.
On March 1st, 1997, Motley Crue was engaged in a lawsuit with a fan named Clifford Goldberg. Goldberg claimed his hearing had been irreparably damaged after a show. The case was ultimately thrown out, the judge stating that Goldberg knew the risk he was taking sitting near the front of the stage.
On March 3rd, 2004, a civil partnership bill was passed through Parliament in the UK. In light of this bill, Elton John announced that him and his long-term partner, David Furnish, were planning to marry, as the bill would give gay couples greater rights.
On March 2nd, 2009, Liverpool University made history in the UK, launching a master's degree on the Beatles, popular music and society. The course surveyed the studio sound and compositions of the Beatles.
On March 3rd, 2010, Smelia Green claimed to be married to Sean P. Diddy Combs after being arrested near his home. She was released on $5,000 bail, and there was no official comment from P. Diddy, who was unmarried at the time.
On February 26, 2011, a survey from royalty distribution service, BMI, announced that 30 years after its release, Queen's We Will Rock You was still the most played song at U.S. sporting events. It was also found that U.S. radio and TV performances of the song added up to over 18 years of continuous airplay.
On March 2nd, 2013, a pencil doodle by Paul McCartney from his teenage years sold for over $5,000. The drawing showed multiple faces with different expressions, and the auction house said the final selling price was $5,692.
On March 4th, 2015, cereal maker Early Bird Foods & Co. were being sued by Daryl Hall and John Oates. In the lawsuit, the musicians accused the company of infringing on their trademark for the maple syrup granola bars named Hall & Oates, as it was a phonetic play on the band's name.
On March 1st, March 1st, 2016, drummer Ginger Baker, who played for Cream and Blind Faith, went into sudden retirement after being diagnosed with serious heart issues. He canceled all remaining shows for the year, announcing the change on his blog.
That's all for Jayhawk Jukebox this week. Tune in again in 2 weeks at 4:30 and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at JayhawkJukebox and on Twitter at Jayhawk_Jukebox.
Have a great week, Jayhawks, and have a great spring break, everyone.
Thank you.